When you read Genesis chapter 1, the Bible tells us that God created the animals and plants after their kind. The phrase after his kind, after their kind, concerning the creation of the animal kinds and so on in Genesis 1, is used there 10 times. God created after his kind, after their kind. The implication is that each kind reproduces its own kind. Now, before we go on, the Hebrew word for kind in Genesis 1, we believe equates in the classification system that we use in classifying animals and plants, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. We believe, for many reasons, that the word kind equates to the family level of classification in most instances, to the family level. Some people think that the Bible is not scientifically accurate because they think that where it states after his kind or after their kind means that the Bible's saying animals don't change. The Bible's not saying animals don't change. It's just saying each kind is going to produce its own kind. That's the implication there. In fact, Charles Darwin, as he sailed around the world in his boat, the Beagle, one of the things he noticed was that animals change. Let me ask you a question. Do animals change? The answer is yes, animals change. Dogs change. What do dogs change into? Dogs change into dogs, exactly. What do cats change into? Cats change into cats. What do elephants change into? Elephants change into what? Elephant, and so it goes on. You can have different species of elephants, your stegomastodons and your mastodons, and the Indian elephants, your African elephants, dogs. You've got dingoes, wolves, coyotes, jackal, fennec, foxes, but dogs always remain dogs, cats always remain cats. The secular world makes this statement. The origin of the domestic dogs from wolves has been established, suggesting a common origin from a single gene pool for all dog populations. So they're saying all the domestic dogs came from something like wolves. And of course, wolves and all of the other dogs, like dingoes, etc., are all of the same family anyway, which means they're all of the one kind. They're saying something like this gave rise over time to even these, and eventually even these. Now, some people say, well, how could that give rise to that? That looks like a dog. We're not sure what that looks like. And actually, what I would say is this. Some people say, isn't that evolution when you go from that to that? Evolution? No, that's a downhill process. Evolution really teaches an uphill process. You know, getting more and more information and getting better and better and so on. And what we have here is a loss of information. In fact, it's probably a bad analogy, but I sometimes use an analogy like this. You know, if you take motor cars, okay? Now, we have a little Kia Rio. Sorry if you sell Kias, but it's an older Kia Rio. It's sort of, I look on it as the poodle of the car world. For this reason, that if you take one little thing off, it doesn't work. Now, if you have a Rolls Royce, you have all these optional extras and you can take them off and it still works as a car, right? So the wolf is like the Rolls Royce of the dog, and the poodle is like the Kia Rio. Okay, it's down there. Now, actually, when you get to the poodle, see, if you go beyond a poodle, that's it. I mean, that's the end of the line in dogs, basically, right there. And some people say to me, well, did God make poodles? Well, God made the original dog and said everything was very good, so there were no poodles to start with. Actually, poodles only exist because of sin. Remember I said how those mutations occur now? And see, in a poodle, like most of our purebred dogs, you've got all these mutations or mistakes. Really, a poodle is a great example of talking about a sin-cursed world. So will poodles be in heaven? Think about it. There's going to be no sin in heaven and everything will be perfect. So you can't have a poodle in heaven, obviously.